Hey, happy New Year. I am just giving a little share to a question that was asked of me. You know, as you know, I'm really big into when people want to work part-time while they're on Social Security disability and stay within the boundaries where that is permissible and even encouraged, right? Where you continue to get your benefits and there is, in theory, I'd like to say no risk. Of course, there is always risk, but that really depends more on what you're doing and what you're not doing in terms of the job you're doing, the hours you're doing, the money you're earning, and if you're following up with your medical treatment. Because the whole gist is if you remain disabled as defined under the rules, your benefits will continue. If you improve, and that's whether you're working or not, such that the analysis that they would provide on, say, a CDR would render you able to do some sort of occupation that exists in substantial numbers, be it simple, sedentary, very, very unskilled, don't need a lot of concentration, all that. If you can't do that, then you would still be disabled. And if you can do that, then you would no longer be disabled. That's regardless of whether you're working or not. So for those that are always asking about um, the different avenues about working and what to stay under and how to keep under and all that. One of the questions was, I think it came yesterday or today, and I just got back here after being on the road, but how do you find a job that will give you the limited hours and the limited pay and help you stay under? I'm not a vocational rehabilitation expert, of course, so I can only tell you what I think I'd be doing and what I've heard other people do. First and foremost, a lot of counties, if not all of them, I don't know, they usually have an office as part of one of the state agencies for aging and or disabled. And within that, there's often vocational rehab office. And they are presumably tasked with helping the aged and the disabled or those with impairments and work difficulties either hone the skills they have or get accommodations to which they can then, work in a earning capacity for an employer. Or I believe, because I know of people who have done this, so it's either outsourced agencies or those directly connected to the state, maybe, where they understand that you are in this particular program and that you must stay within the rules of that program to continue with that program. And that is not a manipulative thing, by the way. It's not manipulative to say, well, I'm going to keep because I'm making $10 an hour, I have to keep my hours under, and I'm making this up because I haven't even done the math, say 25 a week, to make sure I stay under what is now going to be the $15.50 a month SGA limit. If one was going by the SGA limit, remember there's other limits, TWP and all that. By purposely staying below is not a manipulation. I'm gonna have to hold on one second, guys. I'll be right back. At the end, sorry, had to let a dog in. He was barking at some Airbnb person next door. Okay, so it is not manipulative to hone your work so it fits within the rules of the program you're on. That is not fooling anybody because it all is under the premise anyway that you are disabled from working a full-time job that exists in substantial numbers in the economy. So without that, none of this matters. You're either disabled or you're not, and you have the proof of it via your ongoing medical treatment that you have not stopped receiving simply because you won your benefits, right? Okay, so I would be using those government agencies first and foremost, but know what your rules are so that if you get some dimwit, pardon my French, at the office who's trying to get you to work 30 hours a week at, $20 an hour, and you, you don't think you can do that much necessarily, but also no, that will kick you off of your benefits. And as long as you are disabled from working a job that exists in substantial numbers in the economy full time, then you want to presumably preserve your benefits. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that there couldn't be someone out there who says, no, if I can work 30 hours a week and this amount, I'm willing to go off my benefits. That's fine. Just know that that job might end and there might not be another one exists like that, because that would be an unusual job. And then you're going to be without benefits and without the job. So you have to protect your benefits. If that is what you rely on to survive, and you're pretty sure, you know, you remain disabled. And again, you have to always be going for that follow-up. Even if they can't cure you or improve your symptoms, you need to go to follow-up visits, so that when the rear window evidence is looked at on your CDR, it shows that you've been going to the doctor, and your doctor is aware that your symptoms have continued without notable improvement, right? That could include continued updated diagnostics. Maybe not with the vim and vigor you did so when you were applying, but it can't be a big full slack either. We have other videos on that. But another thing, aside from using those state agencies, look for outside agencies, perhaps nonprofits that do the same thing, but make it very clear. You have to be your own advocate in terms of not letting anybody steamroll you into taking a job that's going to put you over the limit and boot you out of your benefits. You also don't want to take a job that there are things there that you cannot do, and it will not be successful. If for no other reason, the optics are gonna be a little funny. Like, why are you taking a job? This is completely fabricated, but just by way of example, if you have a bad back, why are you taking a job on a farm baling hay? Why would you pick that as your job? There are other far more genteel jobs that one would be doing with a bad back. So even if it's not SGA work, the optics kind of suggest, if a person has a bad back, would they have taken that job? Ooh, does that mean he doesn't have a bad back anymore, or never did? So be smart about it. You can get consultations on that. That's not something anyone can represent you on, but they can certainly consult for you, and give you, what they understand to be the best way to reduce your risk. Do the math. And I'm going to pull up my calculator here. If the SGA rate for 2024, now that we're in it, is $1,550, and that's the maximum to stay under SGA that you can earn in a month, right? So if you're making, let's say, I'm just going to say $20 an hour, because all these little places are going up with their minimum wages. So if we divide that by $20 an hour, that means for the month, you don't want to make more than 77 hours. You divide that by 4.3, because that's how many weeks are in the legal world when we average it, 4.3 weeks to the month. That's 18 hours a week. Now, I always suggest not flirting with the 1,550. I would stay under it, 100 to 200. But anyway, now gee, if I make $18 an hour, I definitely can't work more than 77. I'm sorry. If I'm making $20 an hour, listen to me. I'm looking at these numbers here on my calculator. I cannot work more than 18 hours a week. Personally, I'd cut it down to like 15. But maybe be your own advocate. When you go someplace that has a part-time sign, and you're looking at it and going, oh, that's a cashier job, it's part-time. Maybe that would work for me, because I can stand a little bit, or I can stand a little bit, depending on what they require. Usually it's standing, I think. If it doesn't require stocking shelves in the off time, maybe this is something I could do, and it's part-time. Then go in there, find out the dealio. What does it pay? How many hours a week does it require? Would it allow you to go lower? Let's say it was paying you, X amount, and you've done the math, and you're like, well, then I don't want more than 15 hours a week. Will they accept you with 15 hours a week? And can you have alternating days? So that might be 5, 5, and 5 if it was a 3-day work week. Go ask. This is what I would be doing. If you think about it, stay-at-home parents, when you have kids in school, those that choose to go to work, which I think is a really great idea for other purposes, such as keeping your earnings credits. That's a video on a different, a while ago. they'll say, I can work between 9 and 2 and I gotta be out because I gotta be home by 2:30 when my kid comes home. There's no reason why you can't do that either. Now, do you want to necessarily give your potential employer, the nitty-gritty on your physical well-being or your mental well-being? If it's not relevant for the job, and you think you can do the job, I don't know why you would have to do that. There might be certain governmental jobs, of course, or airline pilot, you might need to, you know, answer certain questions. But I'm talking about by and large, your most your unskilled, some the jobs that are right around your neighborhood, because you want to pick up some cash. They don't need to know necessarily all of your issues. Now, you might be thinking, well, I might have to share them if I want them to curb my hours a little bit. You might feel it out. I mean, be brave. You're certainly not going to be any worse off than you are now. If they don't hire you, they don't hire you. You don't have a job now anyway. But those are things I'd be doing. I'd be getting out there. Be looking for part-time. I'd go to, how about this? A temp agency and explain. For them, maybe you would tell them, your limitations. Maybe you'd go to a few temp agencies, try it out. Tell this one about it, but don't tell this one about it. By the way, what do you think of the funky threads? This is one of my little prize pieces. It's from the thrift store over the holidays. At first I thought, oh, how cool. It's very strange. I mean, look at these. It's a little big on me, but I thought maybe it was homemade, which I thought was really cool. Then I look at the tag. It's got some uppity tag on it. I prefer no name, but anyway, it is warm though and snuggly, and it has a zipper. I don't know. Thought it was kind of neat. Looks like grandma might have made it, but I don't think she did. I'll be trying all those avenues, and you can say one thing to one, not share as much with another, and see what works better. And if you do it and it works out, I'd love to hear about it. So feel free to share. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. I got to head into a meeting. Bye now.